seated position. Find a comfortable seat. And if you like to use a prop of some sort, maybe a blanket or a bolster, if you prefer to even begin your class in a chair. Just start to slowly roll. Like your inhalations and your exhalations. Coming back to that awareness of the breath itself. Notice the soothing nature of the breath, really drawing in. This is one of our most important functions of the breath. This is what's referred to as the life force energy. Prana is the breath. See if you can observe that feeling, that sensation, have an awareness of the cells being energized with the inhalation, of stale energy being expelled. Notice that there's a space deep within, or there may be some unrest, I guess, or inner peace is somewhat disturbed. See if you can imagine the inhalation starting to smooth that surface, the exhalation, taking away anything that's causing that disruption. Listening to the sound of the breath as it passes in and out the body. Noticing the difference between the inhale and the exhale. Do they sound different as they pass through? Maybe you're coming into your Ujjayi breath, a little bit of constriction at the back of the throat, as if you were fogging a mirror. Start to notice the difference between the temperature and texture of the inhale and the temperature and texture of the exhale. Begin to notice if there are thoughts that are bubbling up. They're taking you away from your mat, out of your mental practice space. Starting to see these as some of those disruptors to that inner peace, that inner calm, that space of stability and serenity that resides within. The inhalations gathering them up, the exhalations sending them away. There are things that need to be kept, allow them to be set aside. Beginning to create a drishti, a focal point. You can have your eyes closed and create a drishti. Their focal point doesn't have to be, and eventually shouldn't be, a physical object. It's a point of space. Hone in on to maintain balance, to maintain focus throughout all of the things that we do in life. Help us find that inner light. Allow the shoulders to soften away from the ears. We'll begin to find some softness in the body. The tendency to hold tension, jaw, ways to release that is to allow the air to pass the lips. So sometimes called blowing nose. As you inhale, keeping the lips together, but allowing the air to leave the mouth. Two more times. Focusing on the subtle energies, the subtle feelings. All of the little sensations. One more time. Inhale fully, and as you exhale, drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Just notice how that feels. Move the head forward and back a little bit. Find the spot where you will stretch. One more breath. Allow the chin to slowly roll to the chest, keeping in mind that it doesn't have to be at the center of the chest. If it's off to one side a little bit, that's where you most benefit from the stretch. Let yourself do that. Again, going within, noticing when the brain says, no, this is what we're supposed to do, but where does the body go? With the next inhalation, let's allow the left ear to slowly find its way towards the left shoulder. And again, maybe it's slightly backward, maybe it's slightly forward, maybe it is right on the shoulder. Okay. But where do you most notice the benefit from the stretch? Inhaling again, bring that chin to the sky, or not. Notice if you do this simply because it's part of the instruction. Does it benefit? Do you feel a stretch through the front of the neck, the chest? Does it cause pain in the back of the neck? If that's the case, don't do that. With your next inhalation, we'll come up, sit up nice and tall. A little more movement into that jaw. Inhale to neutral, and as you exhale, press the chin forward. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale, press the chin forward. Neck and head remaining the same. Inhale back to natural space. Exhale, press the chin forward. Two more times. Last one here. Sitting up nice and tall. Nice and natural, nice and neutral. With an exhale, open the mouth and allow the tongue to extend out. Maybe even coming into lion's breath, making that breath audible. Two more times. Last one. Pausing in stillness. In your space of neutrality, let's bring the right ear up through the shoulder and allow it to look back and down. Notice little sensations here, and then the left. Notice the difference between the two sides. Does one side hold more tension than the other? Is there a spot on one side of the body that needs a little extra time to work through? Take your time. Full inhalation as you come up, full exhalation as you roll down. Does it work to keep the neck in a neutral space? Or is it more beneficial for you as you bring that shoulder back and down to allow the head to drop back and forward. Same thing with the, when you bring it up, move the head out of the way. Does that allow you to access a space that needs a little extra? Sometimes it happens without our realizing it. So really pay attention to what's happening in the body. Notice if there are movements that you're not even aware of. There are little subtle tensions that you aren't aware that you're holding. One more time on each side. Let's bring the fingertips to the sky. Allow the hands to float back and down, big circles. Find the origin point of that, not just that it's in the lungs. Can you kind of find that energetic space where the breath begins? How far does it extend or expand into the body? And where does it go? Thinking of the breath as actually facilitating the movement. The inhales drawing the fingertips to the sky, the exhales helping to float the hands down. One more time like this, we'll bring the hands back behind us and pause. And then bring the arms up, over, forward. A different movement. Notice if this is better or feels worse. More benefit or less. 2 more times. Last one here. Allow the hands to remain down on either side of the body. We'll lean toward our right a little bit. Let's just bring the left hand to the left. Focus on that shift of the sit bones toward the ground, maintaining that connection, maintaining the connection to your root, to your space, your physical space, your home, your community, your tribe. Inhale as you press up. With an exhalation, we'll allow that left hand to come down. Lean over toward the left, maybe just bringing the right hand to the right hip. Bend into the left elbow a bit if you like. This also helps us to notice whether we have a tendency to roll off of the sit bone. Don't bring the arm up and over where you really focus on the connection to the lower portion of the body. One more time here, just like this. Slowly come up, exhale, leaning to your right. Left hand finds the hip, the waist, and the hip crease or comes across the low back a little bit. With an inhalation, we'll slowly come up. With an exhalation, over to your left. So working with drishti, while it does allow us to become more introspective, let's go ahead and come back up to our seated position. It's also a form of mudra meditation. So the drishti point is, there are drishti mudras, we've talked about some of the hand gesture mudras, there are postural mudras. But we'll be working with that drishti concept today. So let's allow the legs to extend out in front of us. Find that kind of focal point. And you can work with a physical focal point, but just keep in mind that that point represents the focus that's coming from within. So when we move our drishti, we should still be able to connect to that space within, to the yoga that comes from within us, that exists, that resides within us at all times, that resides within us as us. So let's bring the fingertips to the sky and we'll move a little bit. So find your kind of focal space. You sort of allow yourself to disconnect from the rest of the surroundings. Holding your awareness, whether you have the eyes open or closed, on your focal, on your drishti. And as you exhale, next we'll hinge the hips, floating forward. And then inhale as you slowly roll up. So maybe you allow the back to round as you come up, getting that cat and cow-like movement into the spine. Exhale, folding forward. Continue to notice your focal point. Notice your drishti. Now, if it helps, we pretty much always create an intention. So focusing on practicing from within is in itself a bit of an intention. You would like to have an actual phrase or a word that you can repeat as you practice. Now would be a great time to create or connect to or solidify that. One more time. As you come up, sitting up nice and tall, allow the fingertips or the palms to find their roots in the ground. Hold your awareness at that focal point and either focus on and become intent on your drishti or repeat your intention to yourself. As you settle in here for about 3 more breaths. Slow diaphragmatic breaths. Keeping your awareness on that focal point, let's just allow that right foot to find its way to the right side. Your next exhalation, turn towards your left leg, and again, just kind of walk forward, keeping the sit bones connected. And as you inhale, come up. You can raise and lower the hands if you would like, or simply walk the hands forward and back. Or even leave the hands where they are. Simply allowing the chest to fall forward and back. One more time, forward and back. Pause in stillness. Notice when you sit up in that space of stillness, are there areas where you're holding tension, or you're clenching in the body? See if you can soften that. We have the support of the ground beneath us. We're in a seated position. See if you can let ground support you. Let the ground hold you up. See if you can get the mind to release that notion that the body has to do all of the work. The body has to have all of the, has to do all of the support. We're already at the ground. With an inhalation, we'll bring the fingertips to the sky. As you exhale, turn toward that extended left leg and allow yourself to fall. Now, this is where we notice as we come down, do you tend to tense the leg at all? Are you pressing the heel away? Are you clenching up the muscles in the upper portion of the leg, or tensing up the calf? See if you can soften those spaces, even as you come into. That can be difficult. Some of these are behaviors or our movement patterns that we have for practicing. Just allow yourself to notice where you're using engagement of the muscle. It doesn't need to be used. It doesn't really facilitate posture. Because what happens is that that will then tend to stay there, and we're unable to fully release those spaces in our practice. Drawing within, emotionally and energetically within, but also physically. If you could go inside and kind of get a snapshot of all of the muscles and ligaments and the tendons and see what's happening in the body. Notice where there are areas where you would benefit from releasing, where there might be areas where you would benefit from shifting position a little bit or engaging a bit. Maybe it would benefit you, maybe your posture would be more stable, or you can get into a space that you're having difficulty accessing by kind of pressing the right sit bone toward the ground, allowing the release to the left. Tend to hold toward the hip. That might be something that improves the practice. We just want to notice what's really happening as we practice. One more breath. Your next inhalation will slowly go up, sitting up nice and allow the feet to come side by side. Again, for a moment, just pause in stillness. Notice the difference between the left and the right side. With your next inhalation, we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the opposite side to allow that left foot find its way up to the side. Maybe it's just a tiny little bit. Maybe it's coming more or less straight out of the hip socket. There's no wrong answer as long as it's not creating injury or excess strain or tension in the body. So we're looking for elongation, for release, for stretch here, rather than for tensing and strengthening. So there is a moment, of course, we may already know, where tension is beneficial. That's how we strengthen muscles. But today we're really focusing on just drawing within and noticing what's happening in the body and where we get the most benefit from each of these postures. So with your next exhalation, allow yourself to turn a little bit toward that right leg and start to fold forward. Whether you choose to walk the hands forward and back or not is entirely up to you. You can leave the hands where they are and simply kind of dive forward from the seated position, hinging at the hip. Or allow the hands to walk toward the foot and then walk back. That is one of those things where it depends whether it benefits you to have movement in the upper body, or does it benefit you more to stick in the lower portion of the body. Maybe you even like to bring the fingers to the sky and then allow them to float down. Do this 2 more times with. But again, notice as you move, are you tensing areas in the body? We need some stability. There will be a little bit of tension. You notice yourself really clenching up. I have a tendency actually to clench up the entire upper portion of my leg, the quadriceps, the hamstrings. So that's something that I focus on when I'm trying to release more than strength. Notice your body. And if you don't notice the physical sensation, maybe look at the leg as you go forward. So if you clench or tense through the upper portion of the leg, particularly the quadriceps, you'll kind of notice it's like the kneecap is lifted upward, coming toward the head. If you're tensing through the hamstrings, the back of the knee may lift off of the mat. Let's go 2 more rounds. Working with the drishti that allows the eyes to remain open so that we can observe what's happening in the physical body as we practice with the energetic body. With your next round of breath, we'll exhale and float forward to a point where you are able. So maybe that leaves the hands at the mat next to the leg. Maybe it brings the hands to the toes or wrap around the foot. Maybe you actually would benefit from bringing 1 or more to the low back. Kind of opening across the chest or rinsing over the shoulders. Just again, notice, are you tensing somewhere in the body to hold where you are? We want to try and release. So if what you're trying to do is causing you to tense in the body rather than release, particularly the lower portion of the body, that may be more of a mind, a mental desire than an actual. And again, notice if you're tending to roll toward one, see if you can remain in a space of neutrality. Are you really pressing the heel away? See if you can soften. Just get 2 more breaths. Last one right. And with an inhalation, we'll slowly roll up, sitting up nice and tall. Bring the feet side by side, settling in. Sit bones connecting to the earth. Drawing in and finding that subtle energy within the body. Using only as much engagement as you need to remain upright. Find your focal points. Maybe you close the eyes, maybe your drishti, your focus is at the ground, at the space, at a wall or a big ceiling out front. Has your breath changed? Are you still using those deep diaphragmatic breaths, following the path of the breath, to the nostrils, all the way to that expansion of the abdomen with the diaphragm on the inhalation, drawing the center back toward the spine, the exhalation out, engaging a little bit as we inhale, allow the abdomen to expand, releasing. Exhale as you draw everything inwards. You pull all the muscles into the center of the body. And then release. Exhale, engaging navel center comes toward the spine. Let's actually kind of draw it up underneath the ribs. And then release with your inhalation. Very subtle movement. Exhale as you pull in and up. Inhale as you release. Now, if having the legs extended long doesn't work for you, if you feel off balance, you can bring one foot in or roll. Drawing the energy and muscular engagement in and up with that exhalation. See if you can feel it drawing up as if from the pelvic floor. The root of the body all the way up to the bottom of the ribcage. Exhale. In. Inhale, release. Keeping that focus on that spot in the distance, eyes open. Last full breath here. Releasing it. Let's find our way into our tabletop position. Rolling over crossed ankles, you're sweeping the legs out to the sides. Knees directly below the hips. The wrists can be slightly in front of the shoulders or directly into the shoulders, although that tends to create some tension in the wrists. Do what works best in your body. Let's take the right leg and bring it straight back, allowing the toes to rest. Gently press the heel toward the wall behind you and then release. So be very careful. You don't want to strain that Achilles tendon. Just enough to start feeling a little sensation of stretch. Foot, maybe the back of the ankle, half of it. One more round of breath. Holding your focus at your mat, let's bring that foot up as if there were a string attached to the back of the ankle, lifting the foot up so the leg becomes hip height. And we bend at the knee, allow the sole of the foot to press toward the sky. And you probably can't see yourself, so we're really focusing on that energetic, that inward reflection, on noticing how the body's responding to the movements and how it feels in the body. So maybe it feels like the foot's pointed exactly up to the sky, but it's a little bit out, and that's okay. Just draw the knee in toward the chest, rounding the back a little bit. Again, getting into a little bit of cat and cow like movement. Inhale as you bring the foot back up to the sky, and the sole of the foot can come toward the back of the head. So this gives us our cow-like arch in the back. Exhale as you round, the knee comes in toward the chest. And as you inhale, allow yourself to open. 2 more times here. Last one right here. Find that knee in line with the hip. Extend the leg behind you. Let's press the toes toward the wall. Find your focal point if you lost it. So if we don't work with drishti a lot, that movement of the gaze around may throw us off, primarily because we often are using a physical space on the mat or on the ground for our drishti. So with your next inhalation, allow that left arm to come out in front. Sunbird position, hence it's called dog. Elongating, pulling fingers and toes in opposite directions, crown of the head draws toward the sky, maintain that deep, even breath. Full diaphragmatic breaths as you use those stabilizer muscles to keep you nice and steady. With your next round of breath, notice if you pull the shoulder up toward the ear, allow the shoulders to remain in alignment. The arm extends, fingers draw toward the wall in front of you, but the shoulders stay side by side, the hips stay side by side. With your next exhalation, go ahead and release, hands come to the ground, knees come to the ground, reset your table. We'll sink back toward a little child's pose. You can just sink the sit bones toward the heels, or if you want to allow the knees to walk toward opposite sides of your mat, you do that as well. Extend the arms out in front of you, and maybe you open and close the hands, wiggle the fingers, rotate the wrists. Notice if there was any tension, pressure in that wrist. You may not have even realized it as you were in the posture, but once you take the weight off of the hands, it can drop up. So again, we're really drawing within, noticing those subtle things that occur in the body. We want to be able to carry this out into our other practices, into our later practices of yoga this week. One more. With your next inhalation, slowly find your way back into your resetting the hands. Knees are directly below the hips. Spine is nice and long. Crown of the head draws toward the wall in front of you. Tailbone draws toward the wall. We'll allow that left leg to straighten, toes resting at the ground. Once again, very subtle movement. A little shift of the heel toward the wall behind you. Back to 3 more times like that. Really noticing what's happening. Did you shift? Kick the hip to the left side. See if you can keep, or right side. See if you can maintain that stability posture. And the next time you find yourself in your neutral position, you need to draw the back of that heel up. We want the foot and the hip about in alignment, as if that leg, as if the bones of the leg just extended directly out. Sole of the foot presses toward the wall behind you. And then we'll bend at the knee, allowing this open to the sky. Now, did you start to dip down into a cow-like posture? Try and maintain that space of neutrality here, engaging a little bit through the midsection of the body. With an inhalation, now allow yourself to release, bringing the sole of the foot toward the crown of the head. The gaze can come up. And as you exhale, draw the knee in toward the chest, rounding the back. As you inhale, open up. And also notice if you tend to tuck the knee in toward the center of the body or draw it out toward the outside of the mat. Exhale, roll the knee toward the chest. Just be aware and make those tiny little corrections. Those subtle differences that can really change the way the poses, the way that the practice works. 2 more times here. More breath. Big full inhalation as you open up. Big exhalation as you round. Last one. Inhale, come back to the neutral spine. Knee is hip width. Extend that leg behind you, press, pointing the toes toward the wall behind you. Find your drishti, your gaze point. That focal point is within, and it doesn't, you leave it there. It doesn't matter where the eyes are. And then we'll bring the right hand up in front. Fingers drawn to the wall in front. Again, notice if you pull that shoulder forward. Keep the shoulders side by side. Where are you struggling? Where are you tensing to maintain your stability? Also helps us to find the areas of the body. Two more breaths. Last one. Allow yourself to reset. Find your child's pose once again. Child's pose doesn't work in your body. You don't have to do it. can simply come to the seat. You can simply come back to the tabletop. And again, maybe we wiggle the fingers or rotate the wrists. The child's pose is a hip opener. It also allows us to extend the spine, to elongate the spine, stretching the muscles, the tip of the tailbone down to the crown of the head, allowing everything to release. To extend, you can walk the arms out in front of you. You can sink the sit bones toward the heels more, or not. Remember, or not, always a modification available to you. With an inhalation, let's find our way back into our tabletop. Moving with mindfulness, moving with control. We'll work a little bit with our Anjasana, little lunge posture. So from your tabletop, with an exhalation, bring your left knee toward the chest, and let's get the foot up. And then we'll wiggle that right leg back. You can leave the knee down, or prefer the more traditional runner's lunge, you can lift it off of the mat. Notice if the spaces where you are challenged to maintain your stability remain the same. Two more breaths. Drawing within, going within. Introspective practice. One more breath. With your next inhalation, if you haven't already done so, maybe bring the hands up to the thigh. And again, that right knee can be at the ground, or you can be up off the ground, allowing the hands to rest at the thigh. One more breath. Continuing to hold that focal point, that drishti, that gaze point out in the front of you. Fingertips float up to the sky. And as you exhale, allow the arms to float down alongside the body. Exhale, arms float down alongside the body. Allow the fingertips to find the ground. The right knee finds the ground. Bring the hands inside the left foot and allow the left foot to wiggle out toward the left side. So maybe the toes point away from you a little bit, slightly toward the left side of the mat. I'll turn to a better visual of how that kind of looks. So we're coming into our lizard pose. For lizard pose, we can have the hands, we can leave the palms at the ground. We can start to bring the forearms down to a folded blanket of rock. Maybe we roll toward the pinky toe or outside edge of that left foot, and the forearms again can come to a block, a blanket, or the ground. Big hip opener. And be aware that when we come into big hip openers, this is a space where we often store old emotions. So if feelings of anger, sadness, or other emotions find their way up, even extreme happiness for no particular reason, particularly if the pose itself is uncomfortable, if those things bubble up, that's probably that energetic space in the body. With your next inhalation, we'll go ahead and begin to shift up so that left leg starts to straighten, and we start to bend that right knee. Allow the left leg to straighten, sinking the sit bones toward the right heel, but we don't really want to sit on the right heel. Coming into your half hanumanasana. So the hands can walk down toward the foot, extending, elongating that left leg. The chest is growing toward the space right in line with the hips. So the spine stays nice and long. You can tuck the chin to the chest if you would like. One more. As you inhale, walk back up, bring that left foot to the ground, hands come inside the foot. Allow that leg to sweep back and reset your table. Pause in stillness for a moment, noticing the sensations in the body. The spine is long, we're neither dipping into our cow or rounding back into our cat. Navel center draws toward the spine, enough to support the back, but not enough to create tension. These are those subtle differences that we explore this night. One more breath. With your next exhalation, throw the knee in, that right knee in toward the chest and allow the right foot to find its way between the knees. You can walk the right foot forward or walk the left leg back, or a little bit of both. Fingertips remaining at the ground. Or blocks, or folded blankets, or whatever is available to you today, wherever you're practicing. One more breath. And if you would like, we can lift that left knee off of the ground, keeping the toes at the ground as the heel lifts in our more classical runner's position. 2 more breaths. Notice if when you do this, you need to adjust your positioning. Does that left leg need to extend farther back? Holding your focus, your issue. See if you can, with balance and control, come up so that we rest the hands at the right palm. Now, when we're here, we'll usually start to notice more sensation of stretch through the quadricep, through the hip flexor. Find that focal point again. If it's not coming from deep within, find your physical focal point and allow the fingertips to grow to the sky with an inhalation, shoulders stay soft away from the ears, and the fingertips float toward the ground with exhale. 3 more times. Exhale. Inhale up. Notice, are you dropping the right knee toward the inside or the outside? You feel the weight more on one part of the foot. Try and find stability. Exhale, arms down. Pause here. Inhale, exhale, fingertips find the ground again. Pause here. With your next exhalation, let's let that left knee find. And then that right foot can wiggle out toward the right side of the ground. You can have the palms at the ground. We can use a folded blanket or a block to rest the forearms. Maybe we allow that right knee to drop out to the side. Forearms coming to the ground or not. 2 more breaths here. That's good. With an inhalation, slowly release. We roll the foot to the outside edge. We'll bring this whole foot down. Tuck the left toes, start to straighten that right leg from the side. So the sit bones will start to sink toward the left heel. We're not sitting on the leg. With your next exhalation, maybe you bow forward a little bit more, chest growing toward that space right next to the heel. Chin can tuck to the chest. Neck can remain neutral, or you can gaze out in front. Eyes can be open or closed. 2 more breaths. Last one right here. With an inhalation, we'll walk forward. Allow those hands to come inside the foot once again. Sweep that leg back and reset the table. From here, find a deeply introspective pose and something that usually allows us to connect to the inner body. Onto our forearms, and we're going to find our way into a forearm plank. So walk the legs back, allowing the heels to press toward the wall behind you. Draw navel center up and in. This is not a pose that's accessible to you. You can allow the knees to drop toward the ground, keeping them farther back. You still want to pull in, drawing in through the midsection of the body. Maybe you close the eyes and follow a breath through the body, finding all of those subtle spaces, the spaces of ease and the spaces of tension. One more breath. Allow the knees to find the ground once again. Inhale here, and with an exhalation, we'll sink back into a child's pose or some variation thereof. Feeling that elongation of the spine, all the muscles, the sides, the back, the front of the torso, the stretch through the arms. The forehead can rest on your mat or the blanket. If you don't like that, you can stack the forearms or the hands resting the forehead on the stacked arms or stacked knees. Maybe the chest sinks to the, maybe not. What does your child's pose look like? Or what does your child's pose look like today? This is another deeply introspective posture. With an exhalation, let's walk the hands over toward the left side of your mat and sink into kind of the sideline of the child. How did this change the way it feels in the body? Not just the physical body, but the subtle body. Does the brain like or dislike this? Did it allow you to release some areas where you may have spoken with tension, or did it cause you to sense some areas that were released? See if you can come back to that space of stillness, of release. One more breath. Inhale as you lift. Exhale to center. Inhale here, and with an exhalation, let's walk the hands over to the right side and then sink into more of a child's pose, if that's available. Allowing the forearms to find their way to the ground. Maybe you stack the forearms or the hands resting in the forehead on your stacked arms. But really scan through the body, noticing everything from the crown of the head, the tips of the fingers, to the toes, all of the spaces in between. Physical spaces, the energetic spaces, the areas where you're softened, the areas where you're tensed. Strengthening only as much energy, as much engagement as you absolutely need to maintain the posture. With an inhalation, we'll slowly lift, walk the hands back to the center. Exhale here. Inhale, find your way back into your tabletop. Exhale here. With an inhalation, bring the gaze up between the hands. With an exhalation, bring that right foot up to meet that gaze. Lifting the left knee off, finding your lunge. Inhale, fingertips come up to the sky. Try and maintain that bend in the right knee and that extension to the left. If lunge is not available to you, you can have more of a warrior stance, but we will be migrating with this, we'll be moving. So as we turn inward, as we start to bring our practice to that space of stillness, reflection, and peace within, we want to be able to try and hold that in the midst of chaos. So not just emotional chaos or energetic chaos surrounding us, but the way that we train that is by trying to hold our drishti, by trying to hold our space. So again, fingertips come to the sky with an inhalation, and as we exhale, straighten the legs, arms come down for fingertips come to the sky. Maybe not. Inhale, back into your lunge. Exhale into your wide stance pyramid. Inhale into the lunge. Can you maintain your balance? Can you continue to hold your focus? Exhale, fold. Last one here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. This time, allow the fingertips to come to the ground. The right foot. Let's shift the weight into a little more toward the right. So we're coming up to the very tips of the left toes. If it's available to you, if you feel stable, maybe that left foot comes off the ground. Sort of a half standing split. One more breath right here. Exhale, allow those toes to find the ground. We'll bring that left knee to the ground in a low lunge. Hands come down to the ground, sweep that right leg back. Let's extend the right leg behind us. Toes press toward the wall behind you, the crown of the head. Grows toward the space in front. Leg is hip height or a little bit lower. We just don't want to be above. With an inhalation, bring the right foot out to the right side. Exhale to center and maybe across. Inhale as you open out. Exhale as you draw back. Two more times here. Try and keep the hips and the shoulders steady. Not shifting the weight left to right. Last one right here. And the next time the toes come toward the left side of your mat, maybe the toes rest the ground. Getting a stretch to the outside of the head. If that doesn't work for you, reset your table. That's where we're going next anyway. Last breath. Inhale as you reset. Knees come side by side. Pause and stretch. Find your focal point if you lost it. Bring that left leg straight back. With an exhalation, the knee comes in toward the chest and the foot finds that same spot between the hands. Tucking the right toes this time. As you come up into this low lunge. To this runner's lunge, excuse me. With an inhalation, feel the fingertips to the sky. And allow the hands to come down to heart center. Take a moment to find your drishti, your focal point, your space of balance, physically and energetically, physically and emotionally. The inner thighs almost drop toward each other. So we're rotating inward. That helps with that stability. Navel center draws toward the spine ever so slightly. We're lifting the body up. From the hip creases all the way up to the finding that ability to maintain that inner stability and that sense of inner peace in the midst of movement and chaos. Come to the sky with an inhale. As you exhale, allow your heel to come down, right heel to come down, floating forward. Maybe the fingertips come up toward the sky. Inhale again, moving with muscle and control rather than momentum. Going into your wide stance pyramid hold, and then up into your lunge. Exhale as you fold. Inhale as you lunge. Last one here. You have one more time. We'll fold into the pyramid again, allowing the fingertips to frame the left. You can stay right here. If it works in your body, allow the weight to shift toward the left. And then pop the right foot off of the mat. Two more breaths. Last one. Your next exhalation will allow those right toes to find the ground again. Allow the knee to find the ground, or probably to bend into the left to make that happen. Find your tabletop. And then allow the left leg to constrict that. Setting your focal point, finding your space of balance. Try to maintain this stance. So we don't want to roll the hips. We don't want to stack the hips. We want the hips to be able to stay in line parallel with the mat. Shoulders stay side by side. With an inhale, the left foot comes out to the left side. With an exhale, finds its way over to the right. Inhale left, exhale right. Staying as close to hip height as we come out to the left as you can. Exhale, drawing the leg across to the right again. You're using muscle and control, not simply the momentum of the kick. And the next time you find that foot over on the right side, maybe the toes resting. Allowing a stretch to the left hip. 2 more breaths. Remember, your or not is always an option. This isn't working in the body. Inhale, reset your table. Exhale in your tabletop. Inhale here. With your next exhalation, let's find our way back to a seated position. So you can roll over crossed ankles, you can sweep the legs out to the side. Whatever permits you to get to that space. So for what we're going to do next, Sukhasana, or cross-legged seated position, maybe the most stable, but you can also choose to come into Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together and visit opposite sides of the room, or if you prefer to have the legs extended or in more of a wide stance, you can do that as well. So we'll begin by bringing the hands to heart center. Take the breath. Bring that focus back in. If you set a drishti, a phrase or a word, back to that. Otherwise, using that as we discussed, the drishti inward perspective, the drawing in, is in itself an intention. Finding that space of serenity, of peace within. Inhale fully, and as you exhale, turn to your right. Allow the hands to float down. And we'll bring the right hand maybe next to the hip. Maybe the right hand rests at the ground behind you. Maybe the right hand walks across the low back. Left hand remaining on the right thigh, but we're not pulling ourselves into the twist with the arm. So be aware of that. Try lifting that left hand off of the thigh. And if you pop back forward, we're probably pulling into the posture. Allow the muscles to the pose. If it works in your neck, turn the chin toward the left shoulder. As you exhale, allow the chin to sweep across the chest and come up over the right shoulder. We'll move into the neck. If it doesn't work in your neck, don't do it. If it does, exhale, coming across the chest once again. Inhale, gaze and look over the left shoulder. 2 more times here. Last set. Over the left shoulder. Cross to gaze over the right shoulder. Bring the chin up toward the sky. To the left. Chin stays parallel to the ground as you bring the head, the chin back over to the right. Chin up toward the sky. Over toward the left shoulder. Parallel to the ground as you bring. Last time here. Chin comes up to the sky. Over toward the left shoulder. You bring the chin parallel to the ground. Stop at that space of neutrality. With an inhalation, slowly unwind. Fingertips or palms find the ground. Other side. Bit of a variation on our Dandasana. 1 more breath. as you come up. Now, if you chose to come into the cross-legged seated position, we sometimes call it Sukhasana, maybe switch the cross of the legs, allowing the opposite leg to come in front. If you're in Baddha Konasana, you have the legs extended, of course. With an inhalation, we'll bring the hands to heart center once again. With an exhalation, turn toward your legs. Drop the hands into a twist. Inhale, with an exhale, allow that left hand to find the spot where it's going to settle. Maybe it's just right next to the head. Maybe it walks behind the body a bit, resting behind the hip, resting behind the tailbone. Maybe the hand comes across the lower back. Gazing out over the left shoulder. Once again, test your twist, lifting that right hand. We've popped out of our twist and we're using the arms to twist rather than rinsing with the muscles. If it works in your body, once again, we'll go a little bit in reverse this time. Chin comes toward the scalp, over toward the left tree. Parallel to the ground as you come to the left. Up and over, making that little arc. Archway, the rainbow, whatever you like to think of. Inhale as we bring the chin up and across. Exhale as you come back toward the left shoulder. Your pace, your breath. Last one here. And now, with an exhale, sweep the chin across the chest. Gaze coming over the right shoulder. Exhale, chin across the chest. Inhale, gaze comes up over the head. Exhale as we sweep the chin across the chest. Inhale up and over. Exhale, sweep the chin across the chest. Inhale, gaze comes up over that left shoulder. One last set. Sweeping to the right. Sweeping to the left. Your neck back into a neutral position. With your next inhalation, slowly unwind. Find that Dandasana. Maybe it's just fingertips at the ground. That is Dandasana. Maybe the palms start to press to the ground. That's it. But the palms don't press to the ground as we pull forward. We want to try and stay relatively up. One more breath. Your next inhalation, release, sit up nice and tall. So from here, we will find our way to our space of rest. So maybe you choose to rest in your seated position. You might want to bring your back to a wall. You might want to move into a chair. You can also come into our more traditional resting postures. The traditional resting posture, Shavasana. We're going to come to the ground, arms and legs extended long. Shavasana translating to corpse pose. Allowing yourself to release completely, settling against the ground. This might not be comfortable in your body, in which case we have a few options. You can place props behind the head, behind the knees, or you can simply bring the feet to the ground, knees pointing toward the sky. Maybe you walk the feet toward opposite sides of the mat, allowing them to stride toward each other. Whatever works for you. Find the position that works. If resting on your back is not accessible to you, if there's no space, lying down where this works, coming back to your seated position, or maybe you choose to rest in a sideline pose. Using a blanket or the bottom arm for support of the head, the top arm can rest along the body, or fingertips can float to the ground in front of your heel. Find the space where you can settle in for several minutes. We'll come through our guided or systematic release. A few moments of stillness and reflection to wind down the practice. So bring that awareness back to the breath. Notice the sensation of the breath as it moves through the body. The tips of the nostrils all the way down to that point. Feel the abdomen expand on the inhalation and back out. Are there areas where the breath sticks or catches? Areas where that roughness resurfaced, or where we quite smooth it out at the beginning of the class, during the course of our practice. See if you can use the breath to soften this space. To allow for smooth, even, quiet breath. Beginning to find continuity in the breath. Inhale, rolling to exhale. Exhale back to inhale with no pause. Allow this to become as natural as possible. We traditionally cue to breathe through the nose. Breathing through the mouth is also okay. It's most natural or easy. Our goal here is relax and release, winding down the practice. We're allowing the benefits of everything that we did during the course of the last hours. Settle in. And as you continue to breathe, notice the areas where the body presses toward the ground, toward the mat, where it softens away with the exhale. Allow your awareness to come to the very top of the crown of the head. Breathe as if you could bring air in through the crown of the head, sending it out through the tips of the fingers. Do that. Any scale, energy, tension, or discomfort that you find along the way leaves with those exhalations. Maybe you even visualize this as clutter or dust or something to pick up with the inhalation and send it out through the fingers with the exhalation. One more breath here. With your next round of breath, we'll send that exhalation out to the tips of the toes. Now clearing those same things, the rest of the body. Take 2 or 3 more breaths. As if the air came in through the crown of the head and left through the tips of the toes. And next time you exhale, allow your awareness to hover the tips of the toes. Mind beginning to release and rest as you soften and settle each space in the body. Your right toes, your right foot, right ankle, right leg from the ankle, your right knee and all of the spaces surrounding it, your right leg from the knee to the hip, left toes, left foot, left ankle, left leg from the ankle to the knee, left knee and all of the spaces that surround it, your left leg from the knee to the hip, the glutes on the right side of the body, glutes on the left side of the body, right hip, left hip, right side of your waist, left side of your waist, right side of the ribs, left side of the ribs, right fingers, right hand, your right wrist, your right arm from wrist to elbow, Right elbow and spaces surrounding the elbow. Right arm from elbow to shoulder. Your right shoulder. Your left fingers. Left hand. Left wrist. Left arm from wrist to elbow. Left elbow and all of the spaces surrounding the elbow. Left arm from elbow to shoulder. Your left shoulder. Low back. Middle of your back. Upper back. Low abdomen. Center of the abdomen. Your entire chest, all the way to the shoulder. Softening and settling toward the ground. Releasing any hold or tension, allowing the ground to support. Continuing to soften and settle the back of the neck, the back of your head, sides of your head, sides of your neck, front of your neck, throat, chin, and muscles around your mouth, right cheek and right side of the jaw, muscles around the right ear, the right temple, muscles around your right eye, the right eyebrow, right side of your nose, your left cheek, the left side of your jaw, muscles around the left ear, your left temple, muscles around the left eye, your left eyebrow, the left side of your nose. Follow that release up the bridge of the nose, softening the space between the eyebrows. Center of your forehead, your entire forehead. Release the crown of your head. Follow the path of the breath from the tips of the nostrils to the crown of the head and back, allowing yourself to just release into the space of stillness for a few more moments in this rest. Draw the awareness back. Releasing support coming from the ground beneath you. Notice the temperature of the room. See if you can even observe that sensation of that temperature touching your skin. Follow that into the body through the nostrils. As you breathe, notice how it changes on the exhale. Allow your awareness to find the fingers and toes. Maybe you begin to wiggle fingers and toes if that seems appropriate. You may wish to rotate the wrists and ankles or not. Remembering or not is always an option of modification. Seems appropriate, maybe rock the head gently from side to side. As you move wrists and ankles instead of or not. And if you're resting on your back, and you choose to bring the soles of the feet to the ground, allowing the knees to point toward the sky, gently swaying the knees from side to side. Inside, outside. As you continue other movements for you are ready. Absolutely no rush. Choose to stay in your space of rest. You're welcome to remain here. Or gently, with as little energy as possible, begin to find your way back to the seated position. Maybe rolling to one side, pausing for a breath or two before pressing up. If you're already seated, or there's some other way that you would like to find your way to your seat. Wherever you are seated, if you choose to come to a seated position, allow the fingertips to float down to the ground on either side. Thinking about that interconnection, that connection to the space of peace and serenity within. Let's bring the palms to the lap, facing backs of the hands resting on the knees, thighs. You are able to physically receive that serenity. Draw the hands in, one hand over the heart, one hand over the abdomen, pulling in that inner peace. And as you exhale, press the palms in front of you and then sweep them to the sides, clearing away any obstacles to that peace. Stand in the way. Inhale, one hand over the heart, one hand over the solar plexus, the center of the body. Exhale, clear. One handed on a Hatha chakra, heart center, one hand chakra, center of the abdomen. Exhale, clear the path of obstacles, allow fingertips come up to the sky, palms together, sinking the hands down the center line of the body. Let's bring those fingertips up one more time, really allowing yourself a big elongation, full body stretch. Exhale, hands come together, sinking down the center line of the body. With our next round of breath, I'll close the practice with home. You're welcome to join me, or you can simply breathe out. Inhale in preparation, bring the fingertips overhead. Hands to float to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing this practice, for offering your time, your energy. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be secure, may you be free, and may you know love. We seal our practice with a gentle pull, honoring ourselves. Om Shanti. Have a beautiful day. I look forward to practicing